welcome to this um, mock system design interview. On this episode now, we have Mr. Chilling. We call him
Yeah.
Chilling. That's what we call him, right? But his name is Afiz Aziz. Afiz Aziz is a senior software engineer. Focuses on for some time he has focusing on Laravel, PHP, but also recently he switched to Node.js. So he's a big man. He's a big man. Uh, so we have done this before, right? And then we are doing it again.
Yeah.
I think the question I have for you today is more suiting of your new abilities. Yeah. All right.
Uh,
So do you want to say anything before we get started?
I mean, you said it all. Afiz, a senior software engineer with over 5 years of experience. Experience, working with team of developers on company internal projects, and also working on personal projects myself. And I'm so happy to be here today for this mock interview. And I hope I come out in flying colors.
All right. All right. Immense that. Immense that. All right. Okay, just before we get started, I just want to
Okay.
mention this for the sake of people that are watching. The idea of this is not a test. This is just it's a learning process for all of us, even myself. This particular question, there's some of the things I had to like go online and figure out like the answers to. Right. So just to be clear that I'm not a master at this, so I'm not just here to interview people. I myself am learning, and the reason why we are recording this is so that we can also share this experience with people and people can learn from it.
Sure.
So that link contains like this question. I'm going to need you to share your screen. I'm going to need you to share your screen so that this is your screen we're going to be using to so people can actually see what the question is and how we
Okay.
walk through it.
So I'm going to copy this and paste. Okay, I'm logged in now.
Yeah, should have access to it now. Right below, right at the end of the document, you will see the link to an escalate draw session. And that is where you need to draw anything, right? You can make it of that. So, before we get started, let me also mention that this I'm going to time this session, right? The plan is to finish up and be done in 45 minutes, right? So, with that in mind, let's get started.
Okay, so I will just need you to um just give me like periodic time updates, like 10 minutes
So,
spent,
so,
30 minutes spent,
so
something
the
like
good thing is that the recording, if you check the recording, you can see that it's almost 1 minute. So you can just use that.
that. Okay. Okay.
Yes. Well, I'll still give you timely of it.
Okay. So I will just take few minutes to go through the requirements and the question. Okay.
Hold on, sorry. I'm giving you edit access. But you don't have edit access in the document. So just reload. Just reload now. All right.
Okay. Um Design is scalable, idea available, shellfish, create page, follow users, view personality, the page, and people to follow. These are first, just can create snippets, share, so, okay. Okay, user can view the user feed showing all posts created by Fields can display basic interaction counts, likes, comments, support millions of users, 500 million users, handle hundreds of millions of posts, serve billions of feed requests per day, support users following millions of orders, post creation, home feed retriever user. Okay, yeah. Um, okay. So the way we are going to go about it is we first of all be talking about the high level design, right?
Yeah.
As a start, right? So
Mhm.
we just like show the basic architecture of what the application we are picturing is going to be like, right? Then after that, mm, after that, let's say the database design, right?
Okay.
I want to make it structured, so I want to be particular about the order. Um, database. hmm, No, no, no. I want to do uh components interaction, database design.
So you already mentioned high level design, right? Which is cool.
Okay.
So my assumption is that the component interaction is that also based on the high level design, or we already drilling down into the backend.
Yeah, so it's just like a subset of high level design. So it's just trying
Mhm.
to break down the high level design down into how each of the components interact together.
Okay. All right.
So we talk about the database design, then um, can now talk about some of the non-functional requirements. So the component interaction and database design we touch base the functional requirements. Okay. So
Okay.
then we'll talk about these guys at the end. Yeah.
All right.
So that's what we are going to. So talking about the high level design, right?
All right.
Let's see. This is our system. So this is the user, right? This is a user coming to our system. Um, then this is our APIs server. Okay. Then do we have like a database shape here? I'm not sure. So I guess I will probably use this shape for database too. Uh, so this will be our database. Okay. So the way it works is user comes to our application, they can okay, let me take this up. Is this two shapes or one?
Yeah. Don't mind this platform. Very very funny drawing.
User can create posts and let's see view posts on CL, which one of this? Okay. And a user can also view a user's profile. Um, yes, user's profile. Okay. Then from there, we make a request to our API server. Then we request stuff. Um, Save posts. Um, retrieve posts. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so this is like the basic high level architecture of the of our support system, right?
Okay.
So let's now dive into some of the component interactions. Okay, so when users come to the system, they log in, they manage their profile. User can follow and unfollow. User can create a post, tweet, photos. I think we should go to the database design now. Okay,
Hmm.
let's just go
So
straight to the data.
one question. So in
Okay,
this your diagram, I can see user API server and then database. What
yeah,
does so is the user the because the user is the user the component or the user is going through is user calling the API directly?
yeah. So the user is like the client.
Hmm. So the user is going through the client, the API server.
Sorry.
So the user is going through the clients to the API server.
Yes, yes. I'm going to expand this later, right?
Hmm.
This is just
All
like
right.
the high level, right? I'm going to
Mhm.
be expanding this later, right?
All
But
right.
ideally, a user or a client is making a request to our backend, to our server.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. So I'm getting confused in how to order how to tackle this thing. So I will just go with database design now. Is that fine?
Okay. Okay. Sure.
Uh,
Yeah.
um, yeah, let's do database design for now. Okay.
Okay.
So for the database design, um, design, right? So going through this, we are going to be having like some entities, right? We are going to be having one. We are going to be having users, right?
Sounds okay.
Um, Users, we have ID, which is a PK. Um, let's see, an email, um, and a password, right? So password is going to be Vilka. So are these necessary? These guys,
No,
like,
no, no, no. They're
okay,
not.
okay.
What
So
kind of database are you looking at? Are you
okay, yeah.
considering using?
So I'm going to be going with, since we are going to be having like interrelationship between the entities, like it's going to be happening a lot, right? So
Hmm.
an RDMS is preferred. That's what I think.
Hmm. Okay. I mean, does that mean we can have relationship between entities? We use um a non-relational database.
Like no SQL.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can. But I think MySQL is preferred. So relational database is preferred for a system where we are going to be doing like a lot of joins and all.
All
That's
right. All
why I
right.
decided to go with RDMS.
All right. Fine.
So MySQL. Okay. Yeah, so I'm going to be keeping this simple. We have ID, email, password. Then we are going to be having like a username and a bio. So keeping it simple, right? So that is that about user. Let me just go through and see if I'm not missing anything. Okay. So user can follow and unfollow. So if a user can follow and unfollow, we have to have like a relationship between the person being followed and the person following the person, right?
Yeah.
So let me just say a followers table. I mean, it can be named anything, but let me just say a follower. So I'm going to say an ID which is a PK on this table. Then we are going to have like a user ID, right? Which is the ID of um. Wait, let me write it down first. FK. So it's a foreign key to the user's table and um, user ID, follower ID. So this is also a foreign key to the user's table. So user ID is the ID um, of the person following someone, right? While the follower ID is the person you follow. Does that make sense?
Mm, okay.
Sounds
And that's
confusing.
fine. It can be
Yeah.
it can be confusing though. You can have
So
like followed and follower, or I mean anyhow you want to put it is fine.
So
At least
if
we
this
both
is
understand it.
follower, if this is follower, let's say I want to follow somebody. So I'm following, let's say I'm following you, I'm following me, right? So me,
Yeah,
it's,
I'm the followed. Don't worry, I think we both understand it too.
yeah,
Let's not confuse ourselves.
yeah. So so that's that about that. So post creation, right? So we have posts, right? So post we have ID which is a PK. To have the user ID which is a foreign key to users table. Then okay, so we have a tweet, right? Which is basically the text, right? Right? Does this
Hmm.
tweet in this context refer to like the actual caption or message in the tweet?
I mean that's for you to decide.
Okay. So in this case, tweet is actually what you type, the caption or the post, the actual
The
message
text.
that you post.
Okay.
Yeah, the text. Yeah. So photos. I'll come back to this status updates. Please, can you expatiate on this? Is this status as in posting tutorial and status or what?
Um. So exactly. So they can actually like create. You know the way you can add pictures that are how do I put it, that are time bound, like
That's what?
stories, like stories.
Oh, stories, right?
Yeah.
Okay. But this is confusing here, right? But I'm just going to assume, right? So we say user
Hmm.
can create a post, a new post, right? E.g. tweets. So I want to assume post in this case is
Okay.
encapsulating so many things, right?
Yeah.
It
Let's
can be
focus on normal tweets.
okay,
Yeah.
okay, okay,
Because
okay,
I can now that I'm thinking about it. Status
okay.
stories can it's a
So
different
it has to be another entity
design.
on its own.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. So a post can consist text of 20 characters, optional media attachments, a single video or a short video. Okay, so I'm missing something here. Let's say it created at and
You have 28 minutes more, by the way.
eh?
28 minutes.
Wow, I need to move fast.
So we have
So
to move
okay,
fast. Yeah.
it created at so for since post can have optional attachments, so I'm going to have like a media, right? So media will
Okay.
just be ID PK. Then we have post ID FK to post table. Then we have a URL, right? So we have a URL. So so I will quickly touch base how that will work, right? So when you create a post, right? When the user creates a post, okay. So when you create a post in this ideal, right, in this system, what I will
Mhm.
ideally do is to have a system where on FE, right?
Mhm.
Let's say you want to like create a post, it's a happy day with a picture, right? So
Yeah.
ideally, on the FE, right, we are going to like be uploading files directly from what's it called, from FE, right? So
By the way,
which
for everyone watching, FE means front end. In case
okay,
you don't
front
you
end,
don't
yeah,
know.
yeah,
Yeah.
from front end. Yeah, so which will make me, come to this my my high level design. So I want
Okay.
to do something here. So yeah, I'm going to have like we're going to be using like a storage, right? Like an external storage for our assets, right? So we have like a storage here, okay?
Fast storage. Yeah.
Yeah. So let me just have an example. Let me just say S3. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what happens is when you want to create a post, right, on the front end, you have to like attach a file, right? So when you attach, we can make a request to S3 directly to just upload, then get a URL, right? But
Yeah.
for security purpose, there's a way to do it, right? You can actually like generate a sort of upload URL from your backend. So that is where you post the file to, right? So then you get like the URL to that file immediately. Okay. So now
Okay.
since in this our application, a lot of people are trying to like request feeds and all, and some of these feeds may have asset like images, video, and so it needs to be like highly available and very fast to be able to serve those assets. So we are going to
Okay.
be introducing a CDN here, right?
Okay.
So we are going to be introducing a CDN here. Okay. So when you upload to your S3, right?
Mm-hmm.
It gets cached in the CDN, right? So
Mm-hmm.
then you get served the corresponding record in the CDN. So
Mm-hmm.
whoever try to request for a post, they just get the asset from the closest server to them, right? So that's what the CDN is doing here. So by that, once you have your CDN URL or whatever,
Yeah.
then creating a post takes minimal like latency on our backend there, as opposed to you pushing all the load on the backend. Okay, so that's
Okay.
why we are doing that, trying to beat
So
like
I have a
latency.
question on that.
Okay.
So what if we have certain criteria for the kind of media that we want to upload? Say for instance, we want to upload only JPEGs, and we don't want to upload more than 5 MB, 5 megabytes of file or of a picture or video, right? How do we get that done?
Okay. A way to do it right is
Mm-hmm.
we can do that validation on the front end, right? That's number
Okay.
one.
All right.
So now I mentioned you generating like an upload URL first, right? So
Yeah.
for that request, we can do that validation on our backend too.
Okay. So how do we do that?
Sorry,
Okay. Okay. How do we do that? You first Either you first send the file to the backend or what?
I didn't get that question. So
How will you validate it from the backend?
I mean, for the validation, you are talking about size, right?
Yes, file size or and different other things we want to do. Different types of validations I want to get done.
Your question is not clear. Then
So
it's how
so
do we
so so let me be
validate?
clear. So I'm trying to say that there's a requirement for the types of file, right, that we want to accept. Now, an example of requirement is file size, right?
Okay.
And the file type, right? Which means a user should not be able to upload a PDF or say an XML file. Now, and also that whatever it's let's say for for images, if you are uploading an image, it should be 3 MB max. If you're uploading a video, it should be 10 MB max, right? How do we carry out that validation? Now, you've mentioned that we can do that validation on the front end, right? But you also mentioned that we can do it on the back end also. So my
Yeah.
question is, how do we do it on the back end?
I mean, like um file handling aside, right?
Mhm.
Whatever comes through um the front end, right, has to
Yeah,
undergo validation against XSS attacks, say
yeah,
CSRF and the rest, right?
yes.
So we can do that in this layer easily by checking the file type, if it matches
Mhm.
whatever we want, and the size and all. I
But
mean,
you,
it
but
just
you remember you mentioned that the request for the file upload goes directly to S3, doesn't go through the backend.
no. It goes through the backend. Like you
Okay.
are basically requesting an upload URL from your own backend, from our own API server, right?
Okay.
So
Mhm.
what we do is we can do that validation first, then now generate the presigned URL for the upload, then return it back. That's what I meant.
Hmm. So it means that, so what would the endpoints to generate the is it the presign URL now, or the upload
Yeah,
URL?
yeah.
What would the endpoint look like?
It will take the file. It will take the file itself. It will take the file to be uploaded itself. Yeah.
Okay. Hmm.
Yeah. It takes the file and probably some other maybe headers, authenticate headers for authorization and the likes, which is normal.
Okay. Okay. All right. All right. No,
Does that
noted.
answer your question?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so what was I talking about? So uploading files directly
On the
from
front
the
end.
front end. Yeah. So what have I not touched here? Okay. So let me quickly talk about post liking, and also posts can be liked and commented on. Oh my gosh. Okay. So can have a likes table,
Hmm.
ID, PT, um post can be liked, right? Can comments be liked? We shouldn't worry about that.
You can also like a comment. Everything you
Huh?
can do everything you can do to a post also applies to a comment.
Sure.
So you can comment on a comment, you can like a comment.
Okay, so likes we have ID. So we can use a morph, right? We can use a morph relationship. Um,
Let's remember that we might not be using a specific we are not designing for a specific tool or language. So what do you mean by a morph relationship? What does that mean?
okay. Pardon me for being too rigid. So since we can like post and we can like comment, right? So we want to aggregate them in a single table. So we have a single table that works for um post and comment, right?
Okay.
So we just have like references using like foreign keys. You understand, to reference the line, the post, the comment, right?
Okay.
So if I so for here now I can say like likable ID and like a likable type, right? So here now we have an when you like a post, we create a record there. It has an ID automatically, right? So the likable ID is ID of the entity you liked, while the
Mhm.
type is type of that particular entity, which can either be a post, or a comment. Okay. So this is what I meant by morph the other time.
All right.
So
Do we need? Why do we need to have that distinction on the like table level? Is there a reason why we need to um? Okay, I get your point. Let's continue.
are you wondering why we don't have like post likes, comment likes, and the likes?
No. I just in my head, I was thinking, okay, we can just have like, do we need the likable type? But yeah, let's continue.
So if we don't have a likable tag, how do we know if it's a post or a comment?
Very good question. So in my head, I was thinking. So for the ID, are you planning to are you planning on using auto increment or what?
For this ID on likes table.
Yes,
Yeah,
ID on
sure.
all your on all your tables. Are you using
All,
auto
all,
increment?
all primary keys are auto increment. So it can either be an integer or we use a UUID. But I think UUID is preferred, right? So as to like um keep some information such as number of users we have on our platform and the likes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for comments, we can just basically do what we. Hmm. Hmm. Can we do that? Okay. PK, commentable ID and commentable type. Okay. Um, I have a question. Are you there?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm here.
We are not factoring out like threaded reply, threaded comment, and the likes. Abi. We are not.
Oh yes, we are.
We are.
Yes.
Mm, mm, no. Comment.
But for now, let's take that. Let's put that aside. Right.
Okay.
I'm still going to ask this as a follow up question.
Okay. So the post can be like. I think we are done with that.
So sorry,
Um.
can you go back to the comments table?
Okay.
Why do we have a commentable ID and a commentable time? Hmm?
So the reason why we have this is because you said you can comment on a post and you can comment on a comment. That's why I have this here, right?
Hmm.
But if it's simply commenting on a post, then we don't need that. We can just have post ID.
Okay. So what if for a comment, what if someone can comment with a picture and not just text?
Mm, yeah, sure. Okay.
And I think you
Mm,
missed the text column on the comment section.
yeah. Sorry about that. Text right.
Yeah.
So something that we do right is I can expand this media table, right?
Okay.
Okay. So I can have something like um no, this should not be let's see. No. I'm looking for a name we can use. Let me just I'm running out of name now, so I'm going to use something like this.
What is
Uh
your fillable, commentable? It's giving Ladder vibes.
it can be anything. So we have a fileable ID, a fileable type, and a URL. So
All
this
right.
table can hold. files for a comment, a post,
Okay.
right? So we have their ID and their type, then we have their URL, which is the CDN or the remote URL. So that is that for that caters for um, files for comments. Okay, so that is that. So I think we are. I think that's it for the database design. If I'm not missing anything, okay. So users can view home feed showing posts. Users can view this. Sure, it should display basic interaction counts. There is something that I can do, right? I don't know what you think about it. I'm going to ask for your opinion on that.
Okay.
So in this post table, we can have like a like count and a comment count.
Okay.
Um, so as to reduce the queries, right? How
Mm.
large our queries are. But this must be like maintained very well, right?
Mm.
Must use like transactions in some cases to make sure that we don't like a post and the like count doesn't increase. Then inconsistency, we start on a task getter to see where, yeah, the discrepancy emanated from. Okay.
Yeah.
um
Yeah, that's fine.
so, and I think in that way we can have that here too.
Okay.
So through this, I mean, we can use we are we are sure to be able to reduce queries with this, and in worst case, we can still write efficient queries to still compute them from the database.
Mm. Yeah, okay.
Um, so yeah, my okay. So talking about this, this has been this has been catered for.
Retweets. How will you cater for retweets? So, like, if someone retweets someone else's post, like my check keeps going down.
Hmm. Um. So basically, on Twitter, I think retweet is also a tweet on its own.
Hmm.
Okay, retweet is also a tweet on its own. Okay. Um. So let me visit this guy, right? Let me visit.
Hmm.
Um. Can we have like a parent ID here that it will be nullable? Um. Okay. So if I retweet a post, I save this
Mm-hmm.
as a tweet, but it has a parent ID of the post that was retweeted. Okay, that solves it, right? But if we now want to do stuff like I think this solves that, right? Does it? I think it does.
Sure. So, if you, so wouldn't you be duplicating the um the tweet in that case? So if you retweet, because I'm trying to actually open Twitter because I need to be sure. If you retweet someone's post, right?
Yeah.
If someone likes, if someone likes, can someone like your retweet, or is it going to be um the actual tweet that is liked?
To be honest, I'm not sure of that right now. I'm not sure
Okay.
of it.
So for the purpose of this call, let's assume that it is
Hmm.
let's assume that it is your retreat that is like let's just make that assumption.
Okay. So then in that case, this works.
Yeah,
Okay. Um.
I'm not so comfortable with it, but right now I've not found the loophole in it. So let's consider.
Yeah. Okay. User can create a new. Okay. Okay. Okay, I'm done with this. So feed. I think feed to retriever is the only thing I've not talked about on this functional requirement. So let's quickly. So user can view personalized home feed or timeline showing posts from all the user they follow. Or that user can view a feed. Okay. Um. Uh, Do we need to go into details of how this will work in terms of queries and the likes? Do we need to?
I mean, let's just discuss how you would handle it.
Okay. So user can view personalized home feed tweets showing posts of all the users uh they follow. Okay. So basically to retrieve let's say a timeline for Hafiz now, right? So we basically do a sort of join between post table, right?
Hmm.
Uh-huh. And this followers table. Okay. So
You're talking about the feeds, right?
yeah, I think so that I won't be confusing myself. Let me just temporarily name this guy followed user ID.
And then you follow the follower.
What?
No, don't worry, continue.
User ID. User ID is me, right? User ID is me. And I follow someone, so this is the person that I follow. Okay. So
According to my time, you have 5 minutes more.
5 minutes more.
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically we basically get users timeline by joining posts and what's it called and followers table,
Followers
right?
table.
So we are using the user ID, the the ID of the creator against this followers table. So that's basically how to retrieve the user's feed. Then user can view a user feed on their profile. So easy, right? Maybe you're on a slash post slash at
Hmm.
something something. So we just grab the user with that username. I hope we
Hmm.
have username. So then we use it to query the post table, right? So
Hmm.
that's about that. So let's just
So,
talk about um
okay.
latency in
All
retrieving
right.
the feeds, right? So
Yeah.
when you try and retrieve a feed, right? Um So we have a catch here, right? A catch here. Um, uh, okay, okay. So when we try and retrieve, where is it? Okay. So when we try and retrieve a, mm, so when you try and retrieve
The
post
feeds.
for a,
Okay.
for a particular user's timeline,
Yeah.
right? We get them from the database, like the first call, right? Then
Mm-hmm.
passes them in the cache, okay? Then we send
Okay.
them back, okay?
Okay.
So we send them back. Um, oh, let me come from when you are creating a post, right? So when you create the post, what we want to do is when you create a post, you upload the file to the front end to the your storage server, get the URL, send the request to your backend. So something we can do is to just update the particular client's UI. Okay, you
So,
update it
okay.
with those that particular tweet so that they can see it right away, even before making the request.
So
Okay,
which user are we talking about?
like somebody trying to create a post,
So
somebody
are you
trying.
saying that if I create a post now,
Mm.
right? Is it my UI you are updating?
You need to see the post too that it has created, right? You need to
Yes.
see it.
Not necessarily, but yeah, maybe.
Yeah, so what we can do is to just update your own front end, right? First.
We are focusing more on the back end at the moment, right? So what would that look like from the back end?
Okay. I don't get what
So
would that.
if I create you are following me,
Yeah.
right? And I
Mm.
create a new post, right? And then you want to definitely want to update your timeline because I've created a new post. What would that look like?
Yeah. Okay. So what we can have is mm, so when you create a new post, right? And we save it into our database, right? So we can have like a queue here, right?
Okay.
So what this queue will do is to update the catch that we have. Okay, so we have some rules, some set of rules, right, to update the cache, right? So I mean, if if I need to see your post that you just created, um you are following me, I'm following you, right? If I need to see
Uh-huh.
your post, right,
Yeah.
I necessarily don't need to see it immediately because I don't even know where you created it. I don't know what's happening, right? But
Okay.
it just pop up at some point. So
Yeah.
this guy can just update our cache for us. Then at some point my followers will see it. So that
So
is extra
yeah, so
consistent.
that cache you're talking about,
Yeah.
right? What is stored in that cache? Is it the timeline of the user that needs to view their posts, or the timeline of um is it my timeline or your timeline? Assuming that I was the one that created the post.
Mm.
So what's the catch?
The cache is basically my timeline. My
Your
timeline.
own timeline. So
Yeah.
that means we have like a cache of timelines for every user.
Yes. Some like
All right.
logged in user.
Okay. 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 So when someone that a user follows
Create
creates
the post.
a new post, right?
So it
Then
gets.
you so the timeline cache, right,
Yes.
gets updated.
Yes.
All right. All right. Then one thing. So is it the queue that is updating it? Is it really the queue that is updating it?
Well, the queue can we can employ the use of queue to do the updates.
Okay. So what I wanted to correct about that is that like so the queue cannot do the update. Like the queue is not a service. Like the queue is like a pipeline, right? Like temporary storage, right?
Oh,
Yeah. So the
okay,
data or the message flows through the queue. So there has to be
okay.
a
Let me
service.
let me put it like this, right? The queue is
Um,
helping us to process the um is helping us to run the process asynchronously. Should I put it like that?
No. So the queue is pushing the post to the service that will process it, or to the job
Oh,
that will
I
process it.
oh, I
Yeah.
get your point. Okay, okay. I mean,
Like
I
you,
sounded
let's say
like
you've created a consumer, like a consumer service.
yeah,
Exactly. Yeah.
I
Exactly.
subscribe
Yeah.
to that.
But I get your
Yeah,
point. I just wanted to like
I
clarify
sounded
that.
like the queue is actually performing the action. No,
Exactly. Exactly.
yeah. Okay. Sorry, I need to. Okay, I think I'm out of
You're out of time. Well,
yeah.
I'll give you 10 minutes.
10 minutes, right?
Yeah, because yeah, I want
Um.
us to like uncover certain things.
Okay. Okay. So let's go to the non-functional part. Support hundreds millions of users. So okay. So if our applications support this large number of people, hundred
So I have a
million.
question. Hold on. Sorry,
Okay.
I have a question before you go to that. Um, so now considering that we are, hello? Okay, I hear you. I see you.
Yeah, I can hear you.
So considering that we are, based on your approach, we are kind of pre-computing the timeline, right? Um, oh, let me also ask, what exactly will you be storing in the cache? What exactly would you be storing?
Mm.
Are you storing the like the old posts, like everything for each of those posts, or what are you? What would you be storing? Do you get my question?
Yeah, I get your question. I get your question.
Mm,
So I think we are going to we are I am going to be storing uh the most important things we need, right?
okay.
So we potentially we are going to be communicating with that particular post, right? So we need its ID, then we
Mm,
need its content, then we need
mm,
if it has like media, we need the path to those media
mm,
and probably the timestamp. Yeah.
mm,
So those are the things we are going to store in cache.
okay. Um, I mean, consider the fact that we are building for millions of users, right? Which means that each user's timeline um will be a lot, right? Do we want to store that much? Because in my head, I was thinking you could just store the ID of the post.
The ID.
Yes. Do you
If
think
we're storing the
that would make sense?
so if we are retrieving from cache and we have
Mm,
only the ID, we
yeah.
still need the information about each of the tweets, right? Does it mean we
Yeah.
now hit the database again?
Is that bad? I'm just giving a suggestion. Like I'm just trying to see again. You still have to weigh the pros and cons here, right? Um.
Um, I think the essence of the cache, right, is to reduce database costs, right?
Mm,
So if we are persisting in cache and still at the end of the day still making DB costs, so what's the point?
mm. I mean,
I
so from
mean,
my point of view, I'm saying that I think the latency of the database call we're going to be making will be reduced because now we have the IDs and the IDs are indexed. I'm just thinking. So because if we think,
okay.
let's think about it together.
Mhm.
If we go with the approach of storing, I mean, some of the data in a cache, what happens when a post is updated? What
Mm,
happens when a post is updated, and how would you for posts? So you mentioned that, and most times when you are doing a post, you want to see the number of comments, number of likes. So would you also be caching those ones? You get my point now.
oh, okay. I get your point. I get your point. I mean, um, Okay, I think I agree with you, right? Because a
Mm,
practice that I also encourage is um in cases of catch misses, right? We can read the database again, right?
mm.
Then get your information, right? So I think I agree with your point. I agree 100%.
So my second question before you move
Okay.
on, still on the catch is that would there be a time where you start removing data from the cache, or would it be indefinite? So, would someone's timeline at some point grow to, say, 5,000 posts? Or, I mean, for people like, for some of us have been that we've been on Twitter for like how many years now, right? Do you think that the Twitter guys kept on updating that cache every time someone will follow posts, right? Or do you think there's a limit to what's in the catch?
Sure. In this kind of system,
Yeah.
definitely a discussion that we should have is the TTL for the catch, right? Because it's a fast
Mm,
moving application. Since you have many rights requests to our DB every now and then, right? So definitely there will be TTL. Permanently we can't catch for so long.
mm,
That's my answer to that.
okay. So it means that, so okay. What's on my internet? Okay. Hope you can hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. So what would that mean? What would that mean for um? So would that mean that so sorry? So what would be a suitable TTL?
Mm.
So because if for instance you store, so you set the TTL to maybe 1 day, right? It means that if I come tomorrow, um, you have to also recompute for me, right? Then stay for 1 day. Is that what we're going with?
Um, I don't think it should be up to 1 day.
Mm,
I don't think it should be up to 1 day. I think um I think it should just be a matter of minutes. Let's say matter of hours, right?
mm,
Then we update the catch again. We have newer version, then we catch again. Like that. That's what I
mm.
think.
But so what if this user like uses Twitter so much? Like this user is on Twitter most of the day, right? Which means that there's a high chance that they will be repeating those views multiple times, right? Don't you want to catch it for a longer period of time? And also considering the fact that there are some users that don't use Twitter as much. So I'm trying to stretch you.
Yeah, I mean, it's a trade-off. Yeah, I agree, right?
Mm,
If
mm,
we are considering users that are frequent and users that are not frequent, right? For users that are
mm,
not frequent, longer TTL
mm.
is okay, right? So for
So
for
do you
this
think
app,
the TTL can be dynamic? Say like we can look at the user behavior, how the average time this user uses on this app, right? The average time they spend, and use that to determine a suitable TTL.
he, yes, I think based on the analytic, we can decide to do
Mm,
that. Yes. We need to carefully um approach that and come up with um for us to be able to decide to do that, we need to like carefully analyze
yeah,
our traffic and all,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Because it's
Mm,
something that is very, I don't know, catching
mm.
dynamically.
Yeah, yeah. I guess it's just a suggestion also. Like I think it's just in theory. I'm just thinking it to work. Okay.
Have
I
you
think I
done
have
that
to.
in real life before?
No, I've never done it. I've never had to do it. I don't work at Twitter, so I wouldn't know. But I think it's possible. Definitely, I think having like dynamic detail. It's technically possible, right? But yeah. So I have two more questions. I keep saying I have two more questions, but yeah, I'm just asking. So I'm asking these questions. Number one, to stretch you. Number two, so that the people that are watching this video can also see, I mean, get value and also learn from this. So we are pre-computing the timeline, right? And storing into a cache, right? We've agreed that, or we've concluded that we are going with just storing the IDs and then can pull the IDs out and use that to fetch the posts. Um, what happens when a user deletes? So two things. What happens when a user deletes their post? So so let's assume that I posted and my post is already part of your timeline, right? What happens when I delete my post, that particular post? Number one. What happens when you unfollow me?
Mm.
Mm,
Okay. So basically, when you delete a post, right? Um, basically, my posts on my followers timeline, they can see it, right?
yeah.
Correct. So when you delete your posts, we need to manage that too. We need to pop them from that catch
Uh-huh.
immediately,
Yeah.
right? Then for the other case, which is can you remind me that the
When you
other
unfollow me.
when you unfollow,
Mm.
when you unfollow me, you don't want to see my post again. So we have to do a pop too. We have
But
to
also
do
consider that we can have a lot of, so say for instance, I'm someone that posts very frequently, right? Let's say today now, like only today I posted like 20 posts, like 20 tweets.
a
Um so and you now unfollow me. So what would you do?
okay. So you posted 20 posts, right?
Already today.
Which I can see, which I can see.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So if I unfollow you, I don't want to. Maybe you tweeted something that I don't like, controversial,
Yeah.
and I unfollow you. I don't want to see it.
Yeah.
Right? We need to pop. We need to pop that particular user's post from your timeline.
Oh, yeah. Mm. Mm. So when are we going to do that?
When you
Mm.
unfollow me,
So it should be part of the unfollowing process.
yes. So we need to define all these processes, right?
Mm.
Um, a background job for when you delete a post, right? So
Mm.
maybe we can have like an event, okay? We can have an
Yeah.
event, and we have like some job that we subscribe to it, right? So
Mhm.
once that particular event of deletion is triggered, right? We
Yeah.
know, oh, for some people that this guy is on their timeline already, we need to pop it, right? Same
Yeah.
thing for same thing for unfollowing too. We need
Mhm.
to, I think for unfollowing, right? Okay, for
Mm.
unfollowing, we just want to get it off their timeline.
Yeah.
But for deletion, we get rid of it from their timeline and also from the database. So for that,
Yeah.
we can make use of like a pop sub model, right? So
Mhm.
an action happen, you broadcast, you send a message, right? Then
Mm.
um we have like some services that are already subscribed to that, or should I say
Mm.
listener. So they just pick that up, perform those things, then eventual consistency. At the end of the day, those users, me that unfollow somebody, at the end of the day, I don't
You
get to
stop
see
seeing the
it
person's post.
if I
Mm.
stop seeing it. Yeah.
Mm. Okay. All right. Cool. So last question concerning this for following thing. Um. So uh we've discussed the pre-computing approach for the timeline, right? Which means that when I post, right, you are going to pre-compute, you are going to update the cache of every single person that follows me.
Mm-hmm.
Now, do you think that would also work for celebrities? Say Ronaldo tweets, and Ronaldo has 5 million followers, right? Do you think it will work if you decide to update the timeline of all 5 million followers, or is there another way we can go about it for celebrities?
Mm.
Yeah, let's think about
Mm.
it.
Yeah. For that case, I mean, even processing it in the background, we are going to be consuming a lot of memory and the likes, right? I
Yeah,
mean,
and also considering that like the only celebrities that these people are following is not Ronaldo, like he's not the only celebrity.
yeah, we have a lot of
Yeah,
them.
yeah.
That's the bottleneck.
Hmm. Okay, let's move on from that.
Does
Um,
does it does it make sense to this thing that I want to say? Does it make sense to clear the attach?
okay, and then do what? You get a catch, right? Okay, then they will now
But if they
um
refresh
fetch again.
with the database again and it's in catch again, then they start all over again.
So we do that every single time a celebrity posts.
I mean, it's an exception that we can just like edge cases that we can just cater for.
So doesn't that mean that whenever a celebrity posts, right, people will have latency? People will like fetching people's posts will be slow because a particular celebrity have posted, or I mean, because multiple celebrities have posted. So like if Ronaldo posts now and I load my Instagram or my Twitter and sat down for like 1 minute for it to load, and then while I'm scrolling, while I'm scrolling, Messi now posts.
Okay, I put it to you. I put it to you. What do you think?
Okay. So there are two approaches, right? When it comes to these things, you've mentioned the first approach, which is the fan out method. The fan out method is like the pre-computing method that you mentioned, where when someone posts, right, you fan out the process, right? So there's a fan out process that actually like updates everyone's timeline, right? And that's very cool. But it won't work for celebrities. So for celebrities, what we can do is instead of fanning out their own posts, right? We won't do that. We won't do that. Um, you will just store it and that's it. So what we're going to do is when we are fetching people's posts, when I'm fetching your timeline, right? After getting your timeline from the catch, like the IDs of the posts, right? I can then go through the list of all the celebrities you follow and then pick out their own posts and then merge it to the pre-computed timeline and return it.
Okay.
So instead of um pushing the posts at the point of creation, we pull the posts at the point of retrieval.
Okay.
There
Okay.
you get.
Okay. Okay.
So yeah, in that case, right, we are going to fetch all your normal posts, right? But we are also now going to look at the list of celebrities that you follow, right? And also fetch their posts, right? We merge it together, we sort, and then we return.
So that means we have to have a way of identifying celebrities. Yeah.
Yes. I mean,
Okay.
yes,
Yeah.
definitely.
So I
So yeah,
just
that's
I just remembered something. Right. We talked about just storing IDs in cache, uh, then making a DB call, and I said, "What's the point?" So I think I agree
yeah.
with you now. Like the query is
Uh,
reduced when you have the ID.
yeah.
So yeah, I agree with you. Any other
All
question?
right. So let's no, none for now. I think you're
So
almost
I
done. Let's
just
finish
want
up this
to
scalability,
I just want to
the
round
non-functional
off.
requirements.
So 1 million daily users. Obviously, so many requests entering to our application. So we want to scale up our servers, right?
Mm.
We have more server, API server. So let me just have two diagram here. So it's we are talking about as as plenty as possible, right? So
Mm.
I'm going to put a load balancer here. Load.
Just put LB. Alright.
Okay, okay. LB. Okay. So it can pick from the servers. Oh, why do I keep making this mistake? And do hundreds and do hundreds of millions of new posts per day.
Per day.
Mm, new posts.
Mm.
Okay, so we are having like millions of read requests into our database,
Sorry,
right?
right request.
Sorry, right. I mean right, sorry.
Yeah.
Um there is this thing that I want to see, but um
Yeah, be fast. We don't have time.
okay. What if we queue um our post creation process, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if let's say we have like 10 requests incoming, we queue them. So we process one at a time, right? One at a time.
Mm-hmm.
And we can even have like if we have like um a system where we have where many um like when we have many queues, right? Waiting to like
Yeah.
undo like
Like many workers. Like,
yeah,
yeah.
key workers, right? So
Yeah.
they can easily pick them up one by one. That will be faster than one
Mm-hmm.
queue. I mean, so that
Mm-hmm.
will prevent like so many requests eating our database at once. People trying to
Mm-hmm.
create posts, right? So
Yeah.
I think that will go a long way to mitigate
That one.
so many write requests on our database.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree
So
with you.
so for feeds, serve billions of feed requests per day. 500 million kps is 5,000 kps for writes. So obviously we are going to be having plenty reads, right?
Mm-hmm.
So for that, we are going to like replicate our database, right? So we are going to replicate our database. So the
Mm-hmm.
primary database will be for write, right? So
Mm-hmm.
where is this? So this guy will be the primary replica, right? So why this one will be read replica. So we can have as many read replicas as possible, right?
Yeah.
So so more database replica to quickly pick up the query and resolve it and all, right? So that
Mm-hmm.
will mitigate this. Support user following millions of orders, celebrities, public figures. I think this is also catered for already, right? Um,
Mm, okay.
so for latency post creation, right?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Post creation latency. I mean, we already talked about the queuing process. I think that solves
Mm-hmm.
this. Then
Yeah.
the fact that we are offloading our uploads to the front end, I mean, it reduces latency for post creation process 100%. I'm sure of.
Yeah.
So home feed retriever, very low latency. I think we've talked about that. The caching mechanism, same thing for
Mm-hmm.
user feed um, process. Then availability, high availability. The feed should almost be as always be accessible. Yeah, so we have them readily available in cache, right? So I think they are. I
Hmm.
think
But in this case, we are talking about uptime. In terms of like the server.
yeah. Okay, 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 okay. Okay.
Okay.
Doesn't the scale vertical scaling of our server solves this? It does.
Is it vertical scaling?
So I mean horizontal. I
All
don't know.
right.
I interchange those things. Messages should not be lost. Okay, I think that will be mitigated by our catching techniques, right? So, meaning we are not relying solely on catch to get what the user sees, right? In case of catch misses, right?
Hmm. So I think the thing is I think for this reliability, it's a thing of when we during post creation, you sorry during post creation you queue up the posts, right?
Mhm.
Before, so what happens, how do we ensure that that post does not get lost? Okay.
Hmm.
So that's what that one is talking about, like to ensure that throughout all the processes, everything is secure.
I talked about the pop sub model the other time, right? So,
Yeah.
the way it works is that when we send, okay, let me just use RabbitMQ to explain how the pop sub works, right? So, RabbitMQ
I think it's
uses
in
like,
1 minute.
okay.
So I said explain it in 1 minute.
Okay, so RabbitMQ uses like what is called exchange. So you publish something to the exchange, a message. Maybe you want to create a post, right? So we have
Yeah.
subscribers waiting to get the what's it called, the message. So
Yeah.
what happens is, if it sends, once the subscriber picks up the message and it fails,
Yeah.
like when they pick up the message, the what do I call it? The exchange, right?
Yeah.
The RabbitMQ itself, like the message queue itself, it doesn't let go of that particular information, right?
Okay.
Until it is certain that um the subscribing entity has successfully processed it. So in that case, the message doesn't get lost. So that's how pops up work.
Okay. Okay.
So I think that's a way to just make sure you don't lose. Because if you don't do that, anything fails, then the message is lost. So how do you get
Hmm.
it?
Okay. I mean, we can also duplicate, right? Add the layer of redundancy. So instead of having like just one message broker, right? You can have like two or three, so that if one crashes, you still have the data on that one. But that's by the way. Continue.
Okay. So
And
for
but I like
data,
the idea of the acknowledging thing you mentioned.
yeah. So data durability, all post and user data must be durably stored. Um so I think
I don't,
by,
I don't think it's a problem. This one,
sorry?
so I don't think it's a big problem. I mean, the related thing.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Since we are already making sure no data get lost. So
Hmm.
yeah, I think we've been able to cover everything here.
All
So
right, all
over
right,
to you.
all right, all right. Well done, well done. So I have how many questions left that I want to ask? Follow up questions. I think two.
Okay.
Two questions. Um, Number one is, I mean, there's a lot of follow up questions for this kind of project. So let me just ask one, and that'll be it.
Okay.
Nested threads, right? How do we approach that? The question you asked initially, where we have posts and then we have comments, right? And then you can comment on comments, and then you can comment on that comment, and it goes. like that, how would you? What changes would you make to your current system
Okay, so now
or to your current design? Yeah.
let me do for post first, right? So I put
Mm.
parent ID here for a tweet, right? So
Yeah.
ideally, if I want to do that nested comment, I will have this parent
Yeah.
ID. Okay. So when
Okay.
I
Yeah.
fetch posts, right? When I fetch posts,
Yeah.
um, it's I'm coming, I'm coming, I'm coming. So any post with a parent ID,
Yeah.
you have to be returned as a post, as a post too. So that's how it works.
Mm. Okay.
Okay.
So you have comments and posts on the same thing.
No, no, no.
Oh no?
It's wait. This is sorry. Do we have nested posts? Do we have nested post on Twitter? I think it's
We
comment
do.
that is nested now, Abby.
Is That's the same thing I'm talking about. Like we have a post, right? And then the post has comments, but that comment can also have comments.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, so for comments here,
Mm.
let me see what I've done here. This is a comment. Hmm.
30 seconds. Give me 30 seconds more.
So for here we had the parent ID. We had the parent ID here, right? That was
Mm-hmm.
not okay. Yeah. So
All right.
basically, any comment that has parent ID will be treated as a comment on its own. So when you are doing your query, we cater for that.
Okay. All right. All right. Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. No problem. I think that's pretty much it. Like that's the end, right? Well done. Actually, I think you really did well.
What's my score
Even though I added like
over 10?
so
Even though you did what?
about 10. Like even though I added like some very tricky questions, some very tricky constraints, right? I think
Mm,
you on a general level actually did well. Um, I don't know how to rate you over 10 now, because
okay.
I
I
would
think
say over
the
10.
viewers will rate me then. The viewers will rate me.
Yes, actually let's so if you're watching this and you've gotten to this point of the video, the video, please let us know what you think we should rate Afis over 10. I have a number in my mind, but I won't say it. Maybe in the next video I'll mention it.
Yeah, you
Um
can state it in your roundup video, something like that.
no problem. I'll leave you one thing. What do you think about focus for the comments and the posts?
Yeah.
Would it be bad if we have both of them on the same table? That's just for you to think of,
Yeah,
think
yeah.
through.
While I was adding the parent ID, while I was adding
Yeah,
the parent ID, it
yeah.
occurred to me, right? It occurred to me.
Mm,
I think it was the way you projected comments at the beginning. You understand?
yeah.
But I did.
Yeah.
I've implemented this stuff before. You
Mm,
understand? Comment is also a post. It's never a comment. Comment is also a
mm,
post. So
mm.
yeah.
All right. All right, no problem. Thank you so much, Hafiz, for joining me on this this on this video, right? Thank you
Thank you
for
for
making
having
yourself
me.
available. Even though we are recording this in the night, I think my eyes are red. I'm so
It's
tired.
ten fifty
I'm so
six
tired.
p.m. man.
You can imagine it's already 10:56 p.m. So thank you so much for making out the time. I really I'm very sure that people will learn a lot from this, right? I'm sure that you yourself, like yeah, you there's there are takeaways for you
Yeah.
from this particular session, and also for me also. I hope you can do this some other time.
Omote,
Yeah, sure.
thank you for all the insights, right? I
Yeah,
mean, it's
definitely.
always fun chatting with you on system design, right?
Yeah.
You always have questions that one cannot answer. You're always having those.
I'm not that bad, though, please.
I mean, you have at least
But
1 to 3 questions that one cannot answer. Maybe on the spot you can't answer.
yeah,
You just have to go and do um
yeah.
some
I mean,
assignment. You
you
understand?
know that's the thing about system design. Like you can, no matter how good you are, there will actually be situations that will come up that you cannot actually solve, like right in that moment. I'm sure right now that work at Twitter, there are problems they are trying to solve at the moment that we don't even know about, right? But let me just give you an opportunity to say something. How do you feel about the question and about the whole session?
Um, like to be honest, I felt confident coming to this mock interview because
Yeah.
I mean I did a real system design interview recently, and before I did that,
Mm,
I had like a mock with you.
mm,
I know how this thing works. I know how to approach all these kind of questions. So I was confident coming into this interview. But as
mm.
usual, I I met some questions that I couldn't answer, and I'm happy that you're asking those questions because I need to
Yeah.
just buckle up, try and learn new things and the likes, right? So it's always fun chatting with you, learning new
Yeah.
things, and I hope the people watching will also gain 1 or 2 insights from this session.
All right. Thank you so much,
Yeah,
Artis. So we hope to have you again.
yeah.
And
When
yeah,
am I coming back?
I'll let you know. I'll let you know. Or actually, if you are watching this video, let me know if you want like Afis to come again. Let's
Please,
just call him chilling. If you want chilling to come again.
if you feel I'm boring, say the truth to you. Hey, if you are boring, don't bring him back. But I'm not boring. So I'm looking forward to coming
No
back to this
problem.
channel.
No problem. No problem.
Yeah.
All right. So enjoy the rest of your day or your night, actually. All right.